Alright guys, this is the battle of the budget Chromebooks. This is the Hisense versus the Haier Chromebook. This is Walmart's entry-level Chromebook made by Hisense. And this is a $150 Chromebook. And this is Amazon's version. This is the Haier Chromebook. And this entry is at $150. So the Hisense is powered by a ARM Cortex A17 processor, and the Haier is powered by the Rockchip processor. Now, both of these processors run pretty good for entry level Chromebook. They both rock in 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of the SSD storage. So, hey, the Hisense, let's get right into it. The Hisense, with the body and the feel, it has that grip. You can hear it right there. It has grip. You're not easily gonna drop this Chromebook. And the same thing for the Haier Chromebook with a little bit less branding. It's a little bit less grippy than the Hisense, but it still got grip. So grip wise, I give them both a good marking, but the Hisense is a little bit more grippier. Now when it comes to appearance, using your device, you're gonna pick up more obvious looking fingerprints on the Hisense rather than the Haier, but you are gonna pick up fingerprints on both. So you definitely gotta have your towel and wipe them down. Now, which one you want to be caught dead with? You know, which one you want to be in the coffee shop on your Chromebook? Which one you least likely, gonna feel embarrassed with? I think it's equal. I think both of them is rocking a pretty good look, but when you look at that logo, it's a dead giveaway what you're using. So pretty much it's not a bad looking Chromebook, neither one, but I just prefer the feel and the look of the Hisense. Alright, so the Hisense, let's look inside on both of them. So neither one is easy to open up with one finger, but I'm just want to show you guys the boot up time. So both of them is booting up, and there you go. They both pretty much logged on the same time, which is surprising, and not too bad. So the look on the inside, they both have their logo in the middle, but I feel the Hisense looks a little bit more appealing. It has the black, it has the keyboard, a little bit bigger keyboard than the Haier. It has the trackpad with a little bit of chrome on it. That really makes it a good looking piece to work with. Also very comfortable. But the Haier has this plastic here, and this plastic is definitely a fingerprint grabber. It's not exactly the comfortable feel because it can get kind of sticky and feel a little uncomfortable. So when it comes to the keyboard, the feel, the trackpad, I gotta give it to the Hisense. The Hisense keyboard, you have a little bit more, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger. The keys are virtually the same on both, but you have a little bit more room and is more comfortable on the Hisense. Now, the trackpad on the Hisense is very responsive, smooth, but it have a little bit of a roughness to it, so that even if your fingers are sticky, it's still gonna feel comfortable. On the Haier, it's the same thing, but there's a little bit of lag. It's not as smooth, the trackpad, as on the Hisense. Now, it's very good trackpad, but it's not in the same realm. and my daughter had noticed it as well. So when it comes to trackpad, I would definitely go with the Hisense. Now let's talk about the screens. Now the screens come lower in brightness on purpose. So I'm going to log in on both devices and we're going to come back. So when it comes to the screens are pretty much a wash, but I kind of feel on the Haier, the brightness on the Hisense is a little higher than the Haier, but on the Haier, I feel the colors might be a little bit more accurate. Alright, so I'm going to go straight into the Google Chromebook Pixel Timescape sample video. So you got, and I have them both set at 1080p, even though they're 720p Chromebooks, to give you guys an idea. So while we're doing this, we're going to be testing the sound as well. So they're both on the same network. They're both same volume all the way up, and also the screen is at the brightness, the highest brightness level. All right. All right, so that's the Haier. All right, so you're hearing the sound. This is a little bit more high-pitched tone on the Hisense sound, and on the Haier, it sounds a little bit more muffled, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. On the Hisense, the speakers is more to the front. They're not behind the feet, they're in front of the feet. So the speakers are a little bit more at you than on the Haier. On the Haier, the speakers are a little bit more towards the back, so they're getting a little muffled by the table. Now, I'm going with the speakers on the Hisense because the speakers are a little bit more at you. You can hear it. If you have it on your lap, there's less of a chance of you blocking those speakers than on the Haier. So, and the sound sounds a little bit more muffled on the Haier than on the Hisense. So that's the difference right there. So, but they're both pretty good Chromebooks when it comes to sound and appearance and everything. Now, when it comes to the screen, this Hisense can get a little brighter, but I feel the color, the depth of the color is a little better on the Haier, but I'm going back and forth on it because they're both good looking screens. So it's kind of hard to make a solid choice on which one looks particularly better. So overall, on these processors, I definitely gotta go with the Hisense. That ARM A17, Cortex A17 on the Hisense is rocking a little bit more solid speed. It doesn't jitter, it doesn't act a little, slow it is running pretty good on the Hisense. On the Haier, I see a little bit of the lag. I see a little bit of the slowness in the trackpad. But other than that, they both pretty much on the same realm when it comes to speed. Now, they both lack in RAM. 2 gig of RAM. I really don't want a Chromebook with 2 gig of RAM. Any Chromebook I get have to have 4 gigs of RAM or better, because I feel Chromebooks just perform better with more RAM. Now, straight up, the Hisense, I just feel happens to be the better Chromebook and definitely wins this battle. On the webcam, straight up on the webcam, you're not seeing anything fantastic on the webcam. Yes, people can see you. It's not as grainy as you would think on a budget Chromebook, but I would say it's about the realm of 480p. 480p, which is not bad, but it's not HD. So I would say when it comes to both, it's a wash, but I say it may look a little better on the Hisense because the Hisense screen can get a little brighter. So it may look better in that situation. So both Chromebooks are up to par. They're running, and build wise, the Hisense looks a little better. The trackpad a little smoother, the keyboard a little better, the screen a little brighter, but the screen on the Haier, I would say, beats that. The body wise, they both got grip. These are the 2 Chromebooks that you use with reckless abandonment. So in other words, these are the 2 Chromebooks that you lend out to your friend. These are the 2 Chromebooks that when company comes over, this is the computer that they can use. This is the computer that is in the living room where anyone can use. This is the computer you hand to the little baby or the little child so they can play with. This is the computer that you use with reckless abandon. Why? Because you don't care. You paid $150. You're not going to cry. You're not going to get all upset because it broke. These are the Chromebooks that, like I said, you use with reckless abandon. In other words, you folks out there, you kids out there, you young people out there that's going on sites you don't need to be on. You know, you guys that want to watch porn, these are the Chromebooks you may watch porn on. You know, these are the Chromebooks that you use with a different Gmail, not your main Gmail. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter because Chromebooks don't get viruses. Chromebooks, you don't have to worry. You could always power wash it. So whichever Chromebook you on, you could do anything you want. You could be a little risky. You can go on sites you're not supposed to go on. With Chromebooks, you're able to do that. But with these Chromebooks, you feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. Why? Because it's cheaper. So Chromebooks are not tablets. They're computers. Gaming on it is going to be a little, you know, like I said, a little different than on a tablet. A tablet, you can find games on the App Store and stuff like that. On the Chromebook, you can find the sites that have the games and you're able to do some gaming. Like my daughter used it and she noticed that the Hisense performed better. She likes the way the trackpad feels. She likes the way the overall feel is compared to the Haier. That's my same opinion as well. The grip, you got more grip on the Hisense. Absolutely more grip on the Hisense than the Haier. That's a plus when you have a Chromebook that you're going to use with reckless abandonment. Alright? Also, for $150, they're both good Chromebooks. For $150 is the price. And when it comes to working on the Chromebook, working on this Hisense, I feel very comfortable. There's Chromebooks here, and I'm going to put a video out where I think the Hisense outperforms. So just take your pick. Which Chromebook you want to get caught in the coffee shop with. Which Chromebook you may want to use with reckless abandonment. I mean, really and truly, there's nothing here that I told you to really give you a reason why you should buy the Haier, except that, you know, they're very good Chromebooks. It's just that the Hisense is better. Hisense got the better trackpad, better keyboard, and it looks like the screen is a wash. But I would say I think there's better color on the Haier. It's a little bit more accurate, a little bit more detail. There's more blue in the screen, which you guys are seeing, kind of greenish, you know. So I just think the Haier have a better color accuracy than the Hisense. But other than that, I don't have a problem with neither screen. They both look the same. The sound, I gotta give it to the Hisense over the Haier. The webcams, they're virtually the same. The processor, I would definitely give it to the Hisense. And right now, I'm going to end this video off by talking about the speed and these processors. And I'm going to close off YouTube. And I have it set up to do benchmarks. So we're going to really see which is the faster Chromebook here. So they're both running on the same network. And I'm going to run the Octane test on the Hisense so we can see this score. So overall, I'm very impressed by Amazon, by Haier, by Walmart, and Hisense for putting out such a good product at this price range. 4 gigs of RAM would have been awesome. I would say buy them both with no hesitation if they both had 4 gigs of RAM. But since they only both have 2 gigs of RAM, and I don't know if it's upgradable or not, I would say go with the Hisense. The Hisense is the better Chromebook. Don't even bother with the Haier unless you want to buy 2, one for each kid. Then I would say buy both of them so they can both know which one is theirs. And these are Chromebooks you can use with reckless abandonment. So here's a score of 7053 on the Hisense. Now let's go with the Haier and see what the score is. So 7053 is not bad for a ARM chip for a Chromebook at this price range. Not bad at all. And when you run these Octane scores, sometimes you can come up with better scores one day and lower scores another day, depending on the time of day, depending on how much people is on the network. But this gives you an idea how fast these computers really are. But I already give it to the Hisense. Better computer, faster, no jitters, no nothing. I would go with the Hisense all day long. That ARM Cortex A17 is running. Now the rock chip, I have my I hope the rock chip that I'm getting with the Asus Flip. Look at that. You get a 7109 with the Haier. So for some reason, the Haier outscored the Hisense in this particular battle. And hey, I'll give it to Haier. A little bit more faster than the Hisense, but I gotta give it to the Hisense. I think it's a more comfortable computer than the Haier. More grippy. Keyboard, that trackpad is on point. So with that, my opinion, the Hisense. My daughter's opinion, the Hisense. But you can see the score. The score is favoring Haier. So with that, you guys make your choice. See you guys in the next one.